And then I think what we were just talking about, defining health for yourself and figuring out, do I need a scale to help me figure out if I'm healthy? Maybe so. Maybe you're in a position where losing weight will, very likely improve your health drastically, in which case that can be a very useful metric. But maybe you're not. Maybe when you think about what it means for you to be healthy, it's something that you could measure in other ways. You could measure in minutes of movement per week. You could measure in servings of vegetables per day. You could measure in hours of sleep, in, time spent outdoors. There are probably, and at the very least, the scale should be used in conjunction with them. But, using myself as an example, I haven't used a scale since I was pregnant. My son's about to be 7. And I just knew at the time that it was going to get in my head. I knew that my body needed to get larger to sustain this other human life, but I didn't want there to be any sort of negativity associated with that. I didn't want to make myself feel bad for doing what my body needed to do. So I just decided, yeah, I'm gonna ask the doctor, not gonna tell me. I'm gonna face away. And I don't know what I weighed then. And it just felt so freeing that I never went back. And now I have lots of other ways that I can tell if I'm looking good, if I'm feeling good, if I'm meeting my definition of health. So maybe somebody out there has been feeling sort of like a slave to the scale, and maybe you want to challenge yourself with, what would it be like to take an extended break from that? How would I define my success or my progress if I didn't have that metric to go by?
Well, you mentioned the grandmother who just wanted to be able to sit on the floor with her kids. I mean, that she works out, she builds her health to the point where she can get up and down off the ground. That is a measure of success, right?
Right.
Or the truck driver who can figure out ways to not feel so sore at the end. Those things. I mean, those setting those goals and setting what I mean, that is just so powerful. Sitting down and asking yourself, what does it mean to you to be healthy? Because don't, part of the reason why I love this podcast is because I have people like you on it. We're not there. The world is just so full of bullshit. Excuse my French, right? But especially with social media and the I call them messages of inadequacy. We're bombarded
Mm,
by these messages that say you're not good enough or you need to look like me if you're going to be happy and cool, right? And this podcast, what you're sharing with folks, you're beautiful, and you have your unique goals. You are a unique individual.